everybody, hope you're all well. I've decided to do this little video now because I've received an email with a series of very pertinent and quite interesting questions. The email comes from a lady called Vicky who lives here in the UK, and I worked with her horse Russ earlier in the year and we had a great chat. Vicky is very attuned to the energetic stuff and has worked with it and understands, a lot about it. But she came up with a series of questions that she thought might be useful to other people as much as to herself. So I thought I'd just do this video to answer them. And it's all about what I do, my side of the equation, because I've spoken before about how I believe it works with the system I'm working with. But this is more about my side of the things. So I'll read the email out first, which Vicky has kindly said I can do. So you'll get a gist of where she's coming from. So it says, "Hello Kathy, I enjoy keeping up with you on your YouTube channel, great posts." Thank you, Vic. "I have a question maybe you could answer in an upcoming post." So this is the start of the questions. "What are you doing, feeling, experiencing during a point of balance session? You've been very clear about how you're accessing the field and why it works, but what's happening while you're there? How do you condition the field to support energetic remembering to become balanced?" Love that sentence, Vicky. Support energetic remembering to become balanced. I'm going to take note of that. So, how do you prepare to start a session? How do you connect with the field? What does it feel like when you do? How do you experience the field? What do you experience when you're in session? Like your most recent Horses Connection videos, how are you holding space for them? Clearly they are relishing what you're providing. Are you imagining yourself in a sunny meadow, summoning feels of peace from within? Do you picture a golden glittery orb of love around you all? Do you simply radiate love with no thoughts in your head? I also understand what one shouldn't be doing, just being one with the field. The more we get out the way, the better. But what does that feel like in your body? Also, Susan Fay mentioned in one of her YouTubes how sometimes she helps her horse by showing him how she moves his energy, or moves her energy, I beg your pardon, to help him understand how he can move his. This may be off topic with you. I know you don't suggest where energy should move during a session, that the body intuitively knows and you condition the field to facilitate the process, but thought I'd throw that in the mix. How does energy move in bodies? Is it the pattern for all beings, or is each being energy movement different? You can see I'm very confused but so interested in understanding. All the best to you, grateful for your contributions to this work. P.S. Russ the horse continues to do well after your March point of balance. My instructor even commented to me recently that she feels like the session really helped him. She said he seems more comfortable in his skin. And this is another little bit, this next bit I am going to address in this video as well, because I've had this asked a couple of times. I was considering trying another point of balance session with him next month to see if there's any fine tuning that might be beneficial to him. Point of balance isn't a one-time thing, right? There's always room for improvement, do you think? And that's from Vicky. So thanks, Vicky, for those. There's quite a lot to process there, but I wanted to give the whole pattern of where Vicky was coming from first. So first of all, what do I do? This is so difficult sometimes to actually put into words how you do things. So if, say I've got a session with somebody in 5 minutes time, I generally message to say, are they okay? And I say, right, I'm starting in 5 minutes time. And all, inverted commas, I do from my side on a conscious level is intend to connect with that person. Okay. So my intention is something like, I want to say it's a horse. Let's take Vicky's horse for example, Russ. So if I was doing a session with Russ at 11 o'clock and it's 5 to 11, I'll ring Vic and say, right, okay, I'm here, ready. And she'll say, yeah, that's fine. So my intention is at 11 o'clock, okay, Russ, I'm here. It's hard to explain. But the intention is whatever's going to happen is going to happen with Russ. And now in myself, what I feel immediately, and I'm feeling it now because I'm talking about the work, is my hands start tingling. So that's always been a characteristic of when I've worked with energy, right from when I first started with Reiki. It's got more intense, there's no doubt about it, and more clear, if you like. So the physicality of what I feel is my hands, and sometimes it goes up my arms. It can be pulsing in my palms. It can be very fine tingles. It can be, I remember doing one session fairly recently and it almost was painful. It was so intense. So that's how I start the work. Intention. And practically nothing else, because I don't know. The horse or the system that I'm working with does. And my intention is about helping that system access the field. Now, I don't know what they need to do to access the field. So it is about, as Vicky mentions, conditioning, what I call conditioning the field, which is making it easier for the system I'm working with to find that information. And that's my intention, attention. You know, I've got a saying, intention, attention, no tension. And I suppose that is the way I work with this as well, in that my intention is I'm working with Russ. My attention is condition the field. The no tension is I don't know what you need, but I'm hopefully facilitating you being able to find it. End of story. And I don't know how you're going to do that, in the sense that, you know, that it could be an emotional problem, it could be a physical problem, a bit of both. So it's not about the no tension bit, is just really accepting I know nothing, the system knows everything, and my pure job is to just say, right, I'll try and make it easier for you to find the answers. So, you know, I use different analogies on this about opening doors and goodness knows what. Another one I thought was, if you're driving along the road and that's your sort of life's path and you're trying to find the correct route for you to take, it may be, I'll put a map in front of you, or there might be a way marker that says go this way, but I can't make you go that way. But hopefully that what I facilitate in conditioning the field means that you'll get the message in one way or another. Something will happen, you'll change within inside you, and you move into a better place, okay? So for the first part then, to prepare to start a session, I absolutely do nothing. The session starts when I sit down and say, right, I'm working with Russ, end of. Hands start jumping. And so when I'm doing the session, what I experience is sometimes change in the energy in my hands. Now, I can't correlate the difference in feel in my hands with what's actually happening with the system I'm working with. I don't know. And I don't get enough feedback to say, oh, when you felt that, this does that. And that's perfect for me, because it's so easy to get the old noggin in saying, oh, right, okay, because I felt that, that means there's a muscle release or something like that. I don't know, because it could be different for everyone. That feel that I get in my hands at a particular moment as I'm doing the session might mean an emotional release for the next person. So I sort of try not to correlate what I feel with what happens. The only thing that I have had correlation with is when my hands really, really start jumping. There quite often has been reported a big change in the system I'm working with, whether it's a horse or a person. But even then, I'm not absolutely sure. But that's one correlation. And the other thing I found as well is sometimes when I'm doing a session, I go really, really hot. I mean, absolutely boiling hot. And again, maybe there's a correlation there between change happening with the system I'm working with. Can't be 100% sure. And the trouble is, you can't do a controlled experiment. You know, the scientist in me would love to say, okay, I'm going to actually, moment by moment, note down everything that's happening, everything I'm feeling. And then if the person, probably work best with a person, you know, that I'm working with, if they note down everything they feel moment by moment, maybe there'd be a correlation that I could say, oh, when that happens, that happens. But as I said, the next person I come to, I may feel very little at all, and they have a massive shift. So don't know. And I don't really want to know, because it's much easier for me and more clear to go, I know nothing. My job is to sit here and intend. End of. So that's the sort of the feeling I get, and how, that I might be able to correlate something, but I try not to. Now, the other thing that has happened more recently, say in the last 6-8 months, is sometimes I feel in my body where the problem is with the system, and this is not consistent in any way, shape or form. And again, I try not to jump on the, I'm feeling that, therefore it means their left leg is bad, or anything like that. But there have been moments when I've reported to the horse owner something I felt, and they've gone, that absolutely ties in, and I know nothing before the session. So that's been an interesting development. But I really don't feel my path at the moment anyway is to be the intuitive that can sit in the energy and say, right, they've got a problem here, there or everywhere. It may be that just now and again I pick stuff up. And likewise with words, I did a session a few months ago, and this was really quite weird. And the word July just came straight into my head, and that was it. And so I wrote it down, and I immediately thought, the month of July, maybe something's happened. But there again, you see, I'm trying to, if I'm not careful, I try to work out what it's all about. And it's not for me to do that. It's nothing to do with me. So I did actually speak to the lady that I was working with after the session. And she reported that she'd felt a shift in her neck, which she actually hadn't realised that she had tension there, put it that way. So something shifted. She went, oh God, I didn't realise I was so tight there. And then when I mentioned the word July, she went quite quiet, and she went, that's really interesting, because the last time I had that area of my neck worked on was by a practitioner called July. And so when she felt the shift, she remembered the session that she'd had previously with this lady called July, and then I came up with the word July. I don't know. It's no biggie in that respect. So I found the word July. It doesn't make any difference to her. I mean, I suppose on one level you could say, if you've got someone who's a bit sceptical, that if I bring forward something that makes sense to them, they might step into it more. Don't know. But for me, my job is not that. Definitely not. My job is just to be and go, there you go, end of. That's the thing. So I'm sort of scrolling through Vicky's questions here. So she said about the videos, I'm clearly holding space for them and they're enjoying it. This was a video I put up recently where it's where my mare is at the moment, Teasel, and on the way back walking along the track, there's a horse called Tivo, and he's not in a very good place. So I'd said I'd give him a session, and his owner said, yeah, please do. So I went back to the car, came back, and he was already in the space, right? He was already, it was like the fact that I went, oh, Tivo, okay, yeah, I'll do you today. I was gone for 5 minutes, came back, he was just standing exactly the same place that I'd left him, gone, eyes gone, whatever. So that's really interesting, because you see, there you are, intention. I went away, chatting away with his owner, Larry, and walked to the car and came back and thought, right, now I'll go and find Tivo. Tivo was there already having a session, basically, and I was, not concentrating on him or any way like that. It's the intention for me that's the whole thing. And I have had mad experiences over the years where people have phoned me up to say that somebody's ill in hospital, and I've gone, right, I work now, and I just go, okay, I'm working with you. And literally within 5 minutes, less sometimes, something else happens on the phone, because it's not as though I've sat down to do a session. I've just gone, okay, intention, booth. And then massive changes happened. So it's almost like all inverted commas, I need to do is to put that intention out there and know within me what that intention means. That intention means I'm helping that system connect to the field by conditioning the field. And so I don't need to do anything. It's not as though I've got to sit here, as Vicky says, imagine myself in a sunny meadow, feelings of peace, glittery orbs and everything, all of which have pertinence. And I know that these are methods that people use, and absolutely. But for me, no, because I don't know, I'm almost putting too much energy into it, not energy, wrong word. I'm becoming too conscious of what I'm doing, because this is, I think, such a oh goodness, such a space thing, if you like, that it's not about being really conscious of any one thing, of thinking of glittery orbs or of peace, or of even creating space for the horses. All I went down when I walked down that track towards Tivo was, here I am. And that was it. And I was videoing with one hand and just standing there, I suppose, being present. But even then, it's not as though I'm meditating. It's not as though quite, I could sit there and go, oh, right, I wonder what I'm having for tea. And then, oh, hello, horses, what are you doing now? It's almost like the intention when I start the session is enough to create almost like a chain reaction, or something that just starts, because this work carries on for 2 or 3 days after the session is finished. So it's not as though it's only happening while my attention is on the horse or on the person, while I am present in that space. I do sit there, and work, because I suppose I feel it's my responsibility that I can't just go, there you go, right, and walk off. I want to stay there in the place and see, and I think that's how I'm learning as well, that some of these things are coming through. But it's not hard work in that respect. It's not I've got to really concentrate or I've got to set the scene. And as I always say, there's no ritual with it. So if you felt that you could only help somebody if you're wearing your purple robes and your purple knickers, it doesn't matter. You don't have to have your purple knickers on for this to work. There you go. You heard it from me. So again, Vicky says you shouldn't be just being one with a field, get out of the way. That is very true, because I think that the more if I thought about it, I'd be in the way, because I don't know. I know nothing, and that's the way it should be, because nobody, unless they've lived the life of the system I'm working with, so let's think of a person, you might look at them outwardly and say, oh, their mother died last month or something, she's in a bad place like that, the work's not going well, and and she had a fall. And so you start putting a picture together of how and why this person may not be in balance, why she's feeling not 100%. But there's so much more to that. There can be that happened because there was a lesson to learn. That's nothing to do with me, and that's all about the person's journey. But at the same time, I'm not there to, I can't be there to judge, oh, that's caused that and that's caused that. And you got the interrelationship of emotion and physicality. And what does that do? I know nothing. I don't know, but their system does. That's the sort of one principle I really work on, is that the system I'm working with knows, and I'm not talking consciously, I'm not even talking subconsciously, I'm talking energetically, that the system knows how to come back into balance, but there's just too much stuff in the way. And so, as I said, my intention is to condition the field so that the system can then find the information it needs, the energy and information it needs to move forward into balance. So that's that bit. And then where energy should move during your session. Right, okay. I know you don't suggest where energy should move during the session, that the body intuitively knows and you condition the field. But thought I'd throw that in the mix. Oh, that's about if you're feeling energy with Susan Fay, where she, now you see, this is a whole different skill set. Because there is such a thing, and I know I've worked with practitioners before, where about moving energy within the body, and that if you as the practitioner shows the other system, the other person, how to do it, they get it, and then that clears. For me, energy movement in body is a real thing. It's inherent, and I believe we can get blockages. And I've experienced this, that after I'd done one of these modalities, I had a quite intense weekend workshop, and I came home, and the first night I was home, I had a pain in my back, and thought nothing much of it. I think I might have taken a painkiller, I can't remember. But each day, so that was the Monday night, each night it got worse and worse. And by Thursday, it woke me up. And I was too lazy to actually go and get painkillers. And I just lay there and I thought, what is this telling me? And I thought then, is this something that I'm energetically blocking a new flow of energy? That I'd been in this workshop, I'd experienced all these new energies and frequencies, and that my physicality, if you like, had not yet stepped into that frequency. So I remember I just lay there and sort of went, okay, I get the message. I'm absolutely releasing everything that's holding this back. That's all I can do. Gone by the next morning, never had it again. Anecdotal evidence, but that's, for me, I think the flow through the body is very important. It's interesting because we are all energy. We are all our own frequency and vibration. So there's so much you can look at there. That is there, a vibrational blockage in the body that's stopping the energy of the whole flowing through us, as much as is it an actual passage of energy individually through our body? I don't know. I mean, I think both concepts have great validity, and I honestly can't give you the answer to that, but I do believe that we can have a physicality which causes a blockage of the energy flow as much as an energetic blockage. And maybe with the physicality, that can be the illness. Again, you've got to look at, all of these different ways. But as you can tell by the way I'm speaking, I don't know. My thing is, I totally trust in what I do, in that the conditioning is all that I need to do. And how do I do that? Intention. It's okay, I'm here, I'm going to work. And my hands are going absolutely mad as I'm speaking to this. So if any of you are feeling tingles at the moment, carry on. So I hope that's answered some questions about it. It's very difficult to be clear when I haven't got words to cover that subject. It's not a topic that's talked about in great depth. And I believe that the more open we are in our bodies, and the more we can sense our own space within us, which leads to the connection to the whole, to the universe, the easier this becomes to not only facilitate from my end, but also to receive from your end. Because then if I can condition the space around you, then that means you are in a place to pick up that new energy and information more easily. So, it's a catch-22. I work that helps you open up, but then you need to open up to be able to pick the information up. So it is a process. And that actually leads me on nicely to the next question, which was about having more than one session of Point of Balance. And I've actually had this question asked twice in the last week. So I'll address it here. My principle, again, is one session is all you need. And the reason I say that is because I believe change can happen faster than the speed of light, and one session is what you need. So when I say that, and why I call them sessions, is it's not a treatment plan. So I don't believe that you need to come to me for a set number of sessions, put it that way. So if I gave you a session on Monday morning, for me, that energy is working very strongly for the next 2 or 3 days, and further down as well, because I think as change happens, it reveals another layer. And if you're in a good place to then move into that layer, it just keeps rolling on, rolling on, rolling on. Now, I, again, don't know how any person or any horse or animal is going to react. So that's why I say one session is all you need, because that session may be it. That's it. However, and as is the case with somebody with a horse and a person this week, they now feel there might be the time for another session. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. For me, that's got two elements in that. Firstly, they're aware change has happened, but there's something else there. And second, they're open to that change. So that they've if I'm the correct practitioner for them, which I totally accept, you've got to find the person that fits for you. But if I'm the correct practitioner, they felt the change, they felt a shift. And I had a most beautiful email this morning, which actually reduced me to tears because, mustn't get emotional. It was a wonderful testimony to what my work is about. It's what I want to do, is just to help people feel better, but also know the power within themselves. That's the whole reason for doing this. And I'm so lucky that this is my passion. I'm so grateful to the universe for showing me this path to where I am. And then when you get feedback like that, it's like, thank you. That's all I can say. For somebody getting in touch and telling me, but also more for the fact this is what I'm doing. And that is my whole aim when I'm working with either a person or an animal, is to help them find that balance so that they can move forward in health. They can understand their place in this world, and through that they'll have the connection to the information they need to carry on in health and on the right path. So thank you guys for everyone that gets in touch with me, and everyone I work with. I so appreciate it, and I learn with every single session I do. So send you all lots of love and big hugs, and hopefully speak to you soon. Take care.